Hey guys, I'm super excited today. This video is about how to make a man miss you, and I have two of the best relationship coaches with me. So today I have Jason Silver from Attract Great Guys and Mark Rosenfeld from Make Him Yours. So Mark is a relationship superstar. He's from Australia. He's here in the United States. He's touring the country. I'm so privileged to have you here. I'm so excited. He has over 250,000 subscribers on YouTube, and he is honestly one of the most authentic, nicest people. I'm so
this guy.
Thanks, man. Like it's gonna be all over the place. And Jason,
the third wheel.
Jason is my main man. Jason he's killing it. His content is amazing. I love the stuff that he does. And so today I asked them if they would do a video with me and talk about how to make a man miss you. And so let me set this up. One of the biggest challenges that the people that work with me have is that they get into a relationship with a man and things are going so well. In the beginning, he's super thoughtful, he's texting, he's calling, he's doing all the right things. And, the woman might be a little bit more reserved. She's taking her time, she's seeing what he's about, and then she falls in love with him. She decides to get into a commitment with him. And then all of a sudden, everything changes. He's not so interested in her anymore. He's not texting, he's not calling, he's not planning, all of these amazing dates like before.
And you've heard of this happening too? This isn't
oh my God,
heard about this?
It's like the biggest thing. And
like
the biggest thing is like, I understand he's so busy, but he doesn't text me good morning anymore. He doesn't call me. He doesn't plan dates. I want him to be like he was before. I want him to miss me the way I miss him. So I want to ask both of them for some advice on what they think a person should do in this situation. So Jason, I want to ask you, why does this happen? Why is it that he's so invested, he's so thoughtful, he's so into her, and then he gets into a commitment and everything changes? Why does that happen?
I think it's hard to give the one overarching reason because it is really specific and dependent on the situation. But I think oftentimes for men, it's like this huge mountain, right? To be able to get into a relationship with a woman that you value. And so you're really working hard, right? You're trying to prove and be your best self because ultimately you're trying to win the love and affection of someone that you care about, that you want to spend a long time with. And what happens, I believe, is I think that we take people for granted. I think it's a very normal, common thing. I think that in general, I think that people take things for granted. It's like it's a natural thing that as we get something or attain something, whether it's a new relationship or an object or an achievement, it just starts to feel normal. And every morning, let's say we move to Hawaii and we're looking out in this beautiful, or Australia. If you haven't seen where Mark lives in...
It's pretty schmick.
He's got to hook up.
It's so nice.
He's in Australia.
Can you invite me to...
We've got boats, we've got kangaroos.
Next month. The three of us are going to do a repeat.
So I guarantee you that if I went into Mark's backyard, I would be blown away with just the romantic beauty of the Australian sunset. And Mark might look at the backyard and say, I wonder if it's going to rain later. Now, I'm not saying that you don't stop and pause and appreciate, but it takes effort. Right? You actually have to put effort forward to not take things for granted. And I think that it's a very easy thing. And then what happens is, all of a sudden he's taking you for granted and you resent that, and it kind of just creates conflict. So at the end of the day, I look at a relationship forming as, what are you giving to the other person? And if two people go into a relationship giving to another, I look at it as making emotional deposits into their bank account. So saying, I love you, or you're beautiful, or doing something for someone, basically adding value to someone's life is like making a deposit. And then asking for a favor, or forgetting a birthday, or saying something mean, or being in a bad mood and kind of, putting out that negative energy, that's taking a withdrawal. And if both partners are both focused on investing in the other, eventually you're going to build a vault of love. That's kind of how I look at it.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Women come to me all the time with this dilemma and they say, I want this to shift. I want it to be back how it was. And my first thing if I'm working with a client is, okay, well, how was it in terms of you? What were you doing differently? How was the balance different? Because so often before we've committed, we're both working for each other, we're both leaning in at times, we're both leaning out at times. There's no games to this. This is just what happens as a natural flow of a relationship. And then once the commitment is there, there's this lean in from her. She's giving more time, more attention, more of her love than he is returning. And this lean in, because of this single commitment, it gets messed up. And I say, as well as making the emotional deposits, you've also got to balance that with something Esther Perel talks about, which is leaning back, which isn't because you're intentionally creating space or anything like that. It's just doing the same things you were doing before that made him so attracted and made him feel like if he dropped the ball, he could still lose you. You know, commitment shouldn't be a thing where, okay, she's committed to me now, I can treat her however I want. Right? That's gonna totally lose a guy's interest, because even though he's getting the great experience, he's not driven by that need for work and that need for that little bit of fear of loss that you talk about so eloquently. When a guy has to still feel like, oh, you know, I'm as good as my last couple of weeks, he's still going to feel like, even with the commitment, he could blow this great thing that he's got.
Absolutely.
And with you just doing your own passion, spending more time with your friends, keeping your fitness, all those attractive things, that guy feels that space that he can cross to get more in his emotional bank account with you.
Yeah, I totally agree. And so I think, you know, if we're putting this in Antonio's terms, as I've said in other videos, I think what happens is, you know, the guy is trying so hard in the beginning. He wants to win your affection. He wants your attention. He wants to have your love. And so he's working on it. And you know, women are a little bit more reserved. They might not, you know, they're trying to see who this person is. And so when they decide that, yeah, I'm going to be in a commitment with this person, or this, you know, man asks you for a commitment, then all of a sudden they are thinking that, oh, let me text him good morning. And they are trying more, they're putting more investment, so they're working harder towards this. And the man is kind of like, it's kind of like you said, they're leaning, right, they're leaning back. And so they're doing all of the work. The man doesn't have to do any more work. And, you know, one of the things that we were talking about before this video was, I think that whenever I've been in love, or whenever I've fallen in love, it was always with the person who I felt a little bit afraid of the fact that that person has other options. A guy can't think that he has you, because if he just knows like, oh, hey, you're totally smitten, you're totally in love, you want to get married, he's just like, okay, I'm busy now. I got to work. You know, you're texting him good morning. He doesn't have to text you good morning. So the thing that we've talked about in other videos is that if you just back up a little bit and focus on being an independent woman that doesn't need him, and focus on the experiences that you have when you're together, making those experiences great, that reminds him of why he's with you, as opposed to asking him all of the time, why didn't you text me? Like, I know you're changing. You used to text me all the time in the morning. You used to call me every morning. You used to plan dates. Mm-hmm. You're changing. What's wrong? When I start hearing that, when a man starts hearing that, he's like, I don't have to worry. She's mine.
Yeah.
You know?
He doesn't feel like he has that, oh, if I don't step up my game, commitment or no commitment, she gonna go. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna lose her. He's like, oh, and when he feels that, because you're still doing all your stuff, you're keeping yourself, literally being authentically you in the relationship with him and without him, then he feels that pull to lean back in and like, I've still got this prize that I'm going to lose.
Yeah, and you just said it. I think what we're really talking about is we're talking about mating value. And this is something that is a little bit taboo to talk about, because I think at the end of the day, a lot of my clients just want to fall in love and be authentic. Mm-hmm. And it's very difficult to view dating as though there's almost like a marketplace where someone has a certain amount of value and I have a certain amount of value. It's a thing. Right? When we actually go out and when we date, we're looking for a deal. We're looking for a value. And there's one person in your life today who has the best knowledge and understanding of what your market value is. You know who that is?
You.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I didn't expect him to get that. I was hoping to stump the expert. It's me! Yeah, I think at the end of the day, what you guys are really just talking about is that if a man is ignoring you, if a man is not giving you what you really need, then if you don't have standards, if you don't lift yourself up, and you stay with this guy, what does that say? Could you imagine the woman you value most in the world? Is she going to do that?
Yeah.
No.
I always say you've got to put your self-respect above your feelings.
I love that. I'm going to use it.
You've got to put your self-respect above your feelings. Because if yeah, it's authentic to feel that, but if you're just feeling and feeling and feeling and you're not respecting yourself in the process and your value, people will interpret your value about yourself, and that's how they'll see you. So, you know, there's been women, you've seen the video where I got ghosted, where it's like, I really like her. Unfortunately, I have to put my
Someone
self-respect.
ghosted you?
Oh, yeah.
What? If you're watching this video, you're crazy. What are you doing?
In all seriousness,
Such
there
a
comes
great
times
guy.
where you have
He
to
is
put your
so
self-respect
amazing.
first.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And it's like, damn it, I like you. I put myself out there, but you're not giving me back what I need, so self-respect comes first. And when the guy feels that, he's like, oh, or the girl, whatever. When the person feels that, and they're like, oh, I'm going to lose this person, they're putting self-respect first, that's when they reinvest, and you get your authentic self-respect met by a man who can match you.
And if he doesn't respect you, or if he doesn't meet you at that point, then what?
There'll be a man who will.
Absolutely. And so to boil it all down, so what do you do when you feel like this guy is not appreciating you, he's not respecting you, he's not valuing you like he did before? Rather than going towards him and saying, come back, I want you, I need you need to step back a little bit and
Go towards you.
go towards you, because he's, you know, think about it this way. If you were telling your best friend, if you were telling your sister advice and they told you that, like, this is what's happening, you would say, don't, you know, he doesn't deserve you. He's not giving you what you need. You would tell her to back up and let him appreciate you. And so the bottom line is back up, start focusing more on you, and if he values you, if he loves you, if he wants you, you will see a change in him, and he's going to notice. He's going to be like, what's going on here? If you don't notice that, then it wasn't meant to be anyway. I mean, let's be real, right?
Yeah.
Full agreement.
Cool? That's it. Okay, so we have Jason from Attract Great Guys. Please go check out his channel. I love his content. I watch his content. I'm a subscriber. I watch every one of his videos, and I love them, and I think his advice is authentic, genuine, and beautiful.
And I'm so thankful
True.
that you made this special motion graphic on how people can go to my channel and actually subscribe. Very, very kind of you, Antonio. Thank you.
How did I do that?
I'll send it to you.
Oh, no. So in the comment section below, you'll find a link to his channel. He's great, and I'm sure you'll be so happy that you made that decision to do that. So check him out. And this is Mark Rosenfeld. His channel is Make Him Yours. He is the most...
It's not as... Subscribe to Jason's. My channel is just mostly me with my shirt off, and you don't want to see that. Just go to Jason.
That's only in the bonus content.
Yeah,
He is the most authentic, real guy ever.
No
He is great.
useful
You don't
content
want to
on
go.
that channel.
Amazing.
Don't go.
You don't want to go to my channel because I only have 30 Australian ripped men revealing to you the secrets of how to attract them. Don't go to my channel.
It's all over there. That's it.
Two of the most authentic, genuine guys. Seriously, thank you so much for driving all the way down from Michigan. Thank you for flying in from Australia. This is
Thanks,
awesome.
man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Cool. We're good.